Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're continuing our topic on reproductive behaviors, and we've talked about reproductive behaviors talked about the types of reproductive behavior: courtship, pairing, territoriality, and all of that. We want to talk about reproductive behaviors in specific vertebrates. We'll talk about the reproductive behaviors in fishes and amphibians, in reptiles and birds, and also in mammals. Then, in our coming videos, we'll talk about pollination. That's the reproductive behavior of plants. So let's start with reproductive behaviors in fishes and amphibians. So most bony fishes tend to form large breeding groups in open waters. So they usually form large groups for breeding in open waters. Now usually these groups consist of smaller units made up of several males and one female. Now, a few types of fishes, however, form pairs and show elaborate courtship behavior. So these fishes use a wide range of signals like touch, chemical and electrical signals. So they use these various signals to communicate their communicate during their courtship. Now, an example of fish or example of fishes that exhibit this kind of behavior includes the stickleback and tilapia. So they show territorial and courtship behaviors. Now, for the reproductive behavior of the amphibians, as we know, can live on both land and water. They usually return to the water to breed. And the courtship displays of amphibians are mainly vocal. They have to do with sound. Now let's talk about the reproductive behaviors in reptiles and birds. Now reptiles are internal fertilizers. They go through internal fertilization. So they use touch and smell signals in their courtship displays. The nocturnal geckos, those are geckos that move at night, they make use of sounds, while large lizards that are active during the day use elaborate visual displays. Now, most reptiles exhibit territorial behavior. So reptiles are internal fertilizers that use touch and smell signals in their courtship displays. An example of animal that uses, or a reptile that uses sound is the nocturnal geckos. And the lizards are example of animals that make use of elaborate visual displays. And we said most reptiles exhibit territorial behavior. Now, in birds, reproductive behavior is highly developed, but it varies from species to species. We have different kinds of reproductive behaviors in birds, but it's highly developed. And it involves the following pattern. First thing is the staking of a territory by the male at the start of a breeding season. So the male bird stakes his own territory. The various males stake their territory. Then after staking their territory, there are courtship displays to attract a female. So those are the reproductive behaviors displayed by birds. Then also pair formation. That means the birds form pairs. Each we have in the pair a male and a female. So there's pair formation after the staking of the territory, and we have the pair formation, and it lasts throughout the breeding season. So after the staking of the territory and the displays, then we have the pair formation. After pair formation, we have the building of nests. Each of the pairs that are formed, they build their own nest. Then we have the mating, and after mating, the laying of egg. Then after the eggs have been laid, there's the incubation of the eggs, and that's usually done by the female. And after the eggs have been incubated and they have hatched, there's parental care of the young chicks until they are ready to fly away and look after themselves. So that is the pattern that the reproductive behavior of birds follows. Now let's talk about the last group of vertebrates, which is mammals. Let's talk about the reproductive behaviors in mammals. Now reproductive behavior in mammals is usually affected by the sexual cycles in females. So the sexual activity of the males corresponds with the estrous cycles in the females. So in some mammals like the deer and the antelope, the height of male sexual activity is known as RUT, R-U-T. So when the sexual activity of the males of deers and antelopes, when they've reached the height of their sexual activity, it's known as RUT. Now, many male mammals show territorial behaviors during the breeding season. So when it's time for breeding, that's when many male mammals show territorial behavior. Now, unlike birds, only a few mammalian species, only some of the mammals form pairs for breeding. Most mammals do not form pairs to breed. Most mammals tend to be polygamous. We can have one male mating with several females. That they will form is harem, and that situation is known as polygyny, where a male has several female mating partners. So most mammals do not form pairs like birds. Now also, the courtship behavior of mammals is not as elaborate as birds. They have smell and sound signals that play an important role in their courtship. So it's the smell and sound signals that are most important in the courtship behaviors of mammals. Generally, males become sexually stimulated by the chemical attractants released by the females on it. Now, some animals like the deer and antelope, they have elaborate courtship rituals that include mating calls and a display of some prominent color patterns. So most mammals do not have elaborate courtship behaviors like birds, but some do, like the deer and the antelope. So with that, we've come to the end of today's video. In our next video, we'll talk about the reproductive behavior of plants, which is pollination. So the pollination is this reproductive behavior of flowering plants. So we'll talk about that in our next video.